Hi, this is Shane here again on behalf of Keith Specialty Stores. Today, on our series of home maintenance and home upkeep, we're going to do something a little bit different, and we're going to change the look of our hallway here at our house. So one easy way, it's pretty simple, to change the look of a small room or a hallway such as ours is by changing the light fixture. If you're uncomfortable dealing with electricity, as always, I recommend you calling a licensed professional electrician. We're going to put this one here in. Some tools you'll need today: simple screwdriver, flathead, or a Phillips bit, depending on what the light fixtures call for. You'll need a pair of pliers and some wire strippers, and most importantly, you'll need a voltage tester or a multimeter if you're familiar with its use. What we're dealing with today is a three-way light fixture, which means it's controlled by two separate light switches. That means there's always what they call a traveler wire, which is always hot, which means there's always 120 volts at that wire. Where typically, if it's a single fixture on a single circuit, simply turning the light switch off will remove power. Whereas a three-way circuit, you must remove power at the breaker. So you go down, you find the breaker, you turn it off. But always double check when you get the fixture off of the wall and you're able to access the wires. You want to double check and make sure the power is not there with your multimeter or your non-contact voltage tester. So most of these light fixtures remove pretty simply. This one here removes, there's two little nuts, you just unscrew them. Usually they're just hand tightened. Alright, so we got that removed. Now we can go ahead and take our tester, stick it up in there, make sure we're good to go. If you have a multimeter, it's going to have a non-contact function. If there's voltage, then you'll see a red light, and the unit that you're using, whether it be a non-contact tester like a small one or a multimeter, it'll make a red light and a beeping noise, indicating that there's voltage present. Got to remove the backing plate. Now I'm just going to cut this so that I can disconnect those wires and relieve the tension. All the new one. In similar fashion. Before you get to the wiring, I always test fit it. So the way these lights typically secure is through a captive nut that goes through this 1/4 inch hollow threaded tube. Now that hollow threaded tube has to protrude through the base of the light just enough that this nut can hold it captive. So it may require a little bit of adjustment. So I always like to do that before I get to wiring the unit. So you'll find center here. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing. There we go. And that looks like it's probably pretty good. But how you adjust it is you would snug this up or loosen it however long you need it to be, and then you just tighten this nut in behind it, and that'll keep that threaded rod the length required. Okay, so typically you're going to have, with most fixtures, you're going to have two wires coming off. You're going to have a white, which is your neutral, and a black, which is what's your hot wire. Then you're going to have a bare wire. Sometimes they're green, and that's your ground. So likewise, the wiring in your home, you're going to have a black, which would be your hot, white, which is your neutral, and copper, bare copper, which is your ground. Your ground will connect to this screw and also to the bare copper wire on your fixture. White will connect to white, black will connect to black. You'll use wire nuts. In this case, they're included with the fixture. You may have to purchase them separately. They come in various sizes to accommodate the number and gauge of wire that you're connecting. Okay, so for the process of wiring it up, it's always nice to have the wire nuts handy. Again, your wire nuts are simple fixtures. Inside there's a coil of metal that simply binds the copper together. Copper being the conductor, of course. So sometimes this is easier with more than two hands, but you gotta make do with what you got. So it's nice to give them a little twist ahead of time. Sometimes this can be a little uncomfortable. It's hard to do by yourself, but typically you are by yourself. So you want to find a way to hold the fixture. You want to hold the wires captive that you want to connect. You want to take your wire nut, make sure you hold pressure against them, holding your wires. Give the wire nut a good twist. You'll know you have good connection whenever wires want to twist around each other. Once you have them all connected, you shove your wiring up in. You can orient the fixture in any direction you want, especially when it's squared off like this. In this case, we're going to orient ours at a perpendicular. You're going to want to take your captive nut that holds the fixture in place, snug it up in. Once you're all satisfied with your work and it's all positioned correctly, you verified that everything's wired correctly, go ahead and apply power and flip on the switch and let it relight. Again, this is Shane with Key Specialty Stores. Thanks for joining us.